这是2025年让我亏的最多的品牌，古驰。我想了解奢侈品的一定都知道这个牌子吧。
This is the brand that has cost me the biggest loss in 2025, Gucci. Anyone interested in luxury goods must know this brand, right? Even their most classic school uniform line has gone under. At its peak, it used to sell for 6 or 7,000 yuan, but now it's only worth 3 or 4,000. Isn't this supposed to be the standard for rich kids in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai? How did it fall this far? I can't imagine how much more money I'm going to lose in the end. This year is probably Gucci's worst year yet. Of course, I hope Gucci gets better and better after this, or else I really can't afford any more losses, brothers. Gucci is an Italian luxury fashion brand, offering products like clothing, leather goods, shoes, watches, ties, scarves, and perfumes. The manager of a Gucci store selling luxury items lamented that the brand's clothing is not selling well, resulting in significant losses. Another woman who sells second-hand Gucci bags mentioned that the market has collapsed. This indicates a sharp decline in consumer purchasing power for Gucci products in China.
之前我们的 Gucci 可以放满这一整面墙，现在真的。
During the severe economic contraction from 2024 to 2025, it's very clear how the luxury market is doing, whether it's making money or losing money. The secondary market really shows this. Before, Gucci could fill an entire wall, but now it's just these 2 rows left. People aren't willing to pay the original 20 to 30,000 yuan when they know the second-hand market prices will drop to just a few thousand, so they won't buy from the stores anymore. 10 years ago, the selvage style was huge, selling for 7 or 8,000 yuan in various sizes, and the secondary market was still booming. Now, even at 1 or 2,000 yuan, hardly anyone places orders anymore. The Gucci 1955 Marmont, I've been dropping the price constantly. It went straight from 15,000 yuan down to 7,999. The market has crashed so badly that it can't keep up.
Amid China's slowing economic growth and weakening consumer confidence, the luxury market is experiencing an unprecedented downturn. Gucci recently announced it will close its outlet store at Shanghai's Bicester Village on June 2nd, signaling a broader retreat from the Chinese market. According to a report by First Financial, some consumers confirmed receiving closure notices from the employees of the Gucci Bicester Shanghai store. The outlet store was once one of the top performers at the Bicester Village in Shanghai. Its closure has fueled concerns about Gucci's performance in China. It also signals an accelerated strategic contraction for Gucci in the Chinese market. In fact, Gucci's store closures did not start this year. Since the second half of 2024, the brand has significantly adjusted its store layout in China, closing stores in Fuzhou, Dalian, Shenyang, and Taiyuan. In February of this year, Gucci also closed stores in the Shanghai Rio department store and the New World Daimaru department store, reducing its number of stores in Shanghai to just 7. This means that in the luxury shopping area of Nanjing West Road, Gucci now has only 1 store left at the Shanghai Hanglong Plaza. Gucci rapidly expanded its presence in China starting in 2010, growing to over 80 stores at its peak. Now, the brand is facing a major pullback across the Chinese market. Gucci's parent company, Kering Group, stated that Gucci's decline in performance is primarily due to weak consumer demand in China, the brand's transformation falling short of expectations, and changing consumer needs. CEO of Shenzhen's Siqi Sheng company, Wu Daiqi, previously stated that the decline of high-end luxury brands is related to both the broader economic environment and a decrease in importance among China's new generation of consumers.
整个2024年，全球个人奢侈品的消费下滑了2%。
Throughout 2024, global personal luxury goods consumption fell by 20%. This is the biggest drop since the financial crisis. Why is the luxury market struggling? Because the main spending group, women, are cutting back. Even cosmetic sales are declining now. On the other hand, rational male consumers are rising, focusing more on the real value of products. Instead of paying for brand status, people now care more about practical value.
However, some content creators have pointed out 3 key signals behind the store closures.
第一，中国消费者不再迷信大牌，过去疯狂扩张的。
First, Chinese consumers no longer blindly trust big brands. The once aggressively expanded 80 stores have become a burden. In Shanghai alone, stores have been cut from 9 down to 7. Second, outlet stores have become a double-edged sword, hurting the full-price system. Crazy discounts clear inventory but shatter the brand's high-end image. Even Burberry next door has started slashing its original prices by 20% to survive. Third, the parent company Kering's market value has shrunk to just 1.1% of LVMH, forcing it to issue 750 million euros in bonds to stay afloat. Even stores in prime locations in Shanghai are closing. Now, even wealthy women aren't buying anymore. After all, spending 20,000 yuan on a handbag doesn't feel as solid as buying gold bars.
On April 23rd, Kering Group released its first quarter financial report for 2025, showing a 14% year-on-year decline in revenue to 3.9 billion euros. Gucci, the group's top revenue-generating brand, saw a significant drop, with same-store sales falling by 25% to 1.6 billion euros, marking a new low for recent years. In 2024, Gucci's revenue dropped by 23% to 7.7 billion euros. The brand's poor performance also dragged down Kering Group's overall results. The group's 2024 revenue fell by 12% to 17.2 billion euros, and its net profit for the year dropped by 62% to 1.1 billion euros. It's not just Gucci that is struggling in China. Other internationally renowned luxury brands are also seeing declines in performance and closing stores. According to Lianshang Network's limited data, between 2024 and February of this year, 6 major luxury brands closed 14 stores in China, including removing barriers. Gucci closed 6 stores, Prada closed 4, one of which was a barrier removal, Louis Vuitton closed 2, one of which was a barrier removal. Dior and Chanel each closed 1 store. In addition to closing 2 stores in Shanghai, Gucci closed its Fuzhou Dayang Jindian store in December 2023, shortly after the store had undergone renovations. Its Dalian Times Square store, which had opened in 2008, was closed in November. The Shenyang Zhuozhan store, Gucci's first store in Shenyang, was closed in August, and the Taiyuan Wangfujing store, Gucci's first in Taiyuan, was closed in July. Chanel's November exit from Shenyang's Henglong in 2023 also sparked industry discussions, as it marked Chanel's first store closure in China. Dior also withdrew from the Dalian Times Square store in October. Richemont, the world's second-largest luxury goods company, closed all its online platforms in China on March 20th, 2024, including its Tmall store, WeChat mini program, Xiaohongshu, and Douyin flagship stores. It also stopped after-sales services on April 22nd, marking its complete exit from the Chinese market. Louis Vuitton, the world's largest luxury goods company, closed its Shenyang Zhuozhan store in October 2024 and removed barriers from its Haikou Wanda Plaza store in March. In addition to pulling out of the Hainan market, Louis Vuitton delayed the opening of its flagship store in Beijing's Sanlitun, which was originally planned for the first half of 2024. Louis Vuitton's financial report showed a slight 1% year-on-year increase in revenue for 2024, but sales in Asia, excluding Japan but including China, fell by about 11%. During this revenue decline, in February, Louis Vuitton demanded that major South Korean department stores stop offering rebates to Chinese shoppers. Asia Daily reported that, according to sources in the circulation industry, Louis Vuitton sent official documents to major South Korean department stores like Shinsegae, requesting the end of the rebate system. This China exit decision by Louis Vuitton aims to protect brand profits. South Korean department stores have long offered a rebate system for large foreign customers, where about 6% of the purchase amount is returned in cash. This turned the rebate system into a reseller-exclusive benefit. It's reported that resellers, through purchasing specific models or high-priced Gap items, can make transactions worth hundreds of millions of Korean won. Combined with the 6% rebate and exchange rate advantage, the profit margin can reach 3 to 4%. Since Korean department stores guarantee no counterfeit goods, these products can even be resold at a premium in the Chinese market. Reports say this move will sharply reduce profits for resellers at Louis Vuitton counters in South Korea, effectively banning their purchasing activities. Industry insiders analyze that LVMH's direct intervention in department store operations stems from deep concerns over damage to brand value. Group chairman Bernard Arnault publicly criticized this practice early in 2023, saying some channels to boost sales during the pandemic dumped products to resellers at discounted prices, causing the most serious damage to the brand image. Louis Vuitton's China exit may help protect its market in South Korea, but its market in China is likely to continue shrinking. Luxury brands like Louis Vuitton are closing stores in China and facing ongoing revenue declines. Meanwhile, another industry is thriving. The second-hand and gray luxury goods market in China is growing rapidly. Reuters reports that Max Piero, CEO of intelligence consulting firm Rehab, which tracks gray market luxury sales, says, in China, as long as price differences exist between China and other countries, price-sensitive consumers will turn to the gray market. The gray market is estimated to be worth $57 billion annually, and has expanded in recent years with the rise of fashion apps like Dewu. Luxury goods on these platforms typically come from overseas, and are priced 20 to over 50% lower than Chinese flagship stores. According to the Financial Times, a Burberry store in downtown Shanghai sells its iconic check scarves for 4,800 yuan, about $678. On the Dewu app, these same scarves sell for only 2,939 yuan. This Burberry store is located in one of Shanghai's most upscale luxury shopping centers, where a Coach jacket is priced at 4,400 yuan and a Prada hat at 6,150 yuan. On Dewu, the Coach jacket sells for 3,499 yuan, while the Prada hat is 4,939 yuan. Consumer interest in the second-hand and gray markets is increasing. A 28-year-old market content manager and luxury consumer, Yi Kejie, told Reuters that rising prices of luxury brands are one reason more buyers are turning to secondary markets. China's economic slowdown also fuels the growth of the second-hand market, as more people seek to cash in on their luxury collections amid tighter budgets. Zhu Tainiqi, founder of the second-hand luxury market platform ZZER, said, "The number of sellers is growing rapidly, most of whom are selling luxury items for the first time. But for buyers, the market remains relatively stable. This has led to average purchase prices declining since last year, with average order values dropping about 10%. Consulting firm iResearch estimates that China's second-hand luxury market, including platforms like Plum, ZZER, and Alibaba's Xianyu, has grown at a compound annual rate of over 30% since 2020. However, selling second-hand items is also difficult. The entire luxury market in China is shrinking. According to Bain & Company's 2024 China Luxury Market Report, sales in China's personal luxury goods market are expected to fall 18 to 20% in 2024. The report points to weak consumer confidence and cautious spending as the main reasons for the contraction. Even high-net-worth clients are becoming more conservative, increasingly choosing to invest in assets that retain value. Meanwhile, the association of luxury goods with a high-quality lifestyle seems to be losing appeal among younger consumers, with affordable alternatives becoming the new trend. Analysts say that as consumer confidence in China is nearing historic lows, demand for these alternatives is soaring. Laurel Gu, Shanghai director at market research firm Mintel, told CNN that the economic slowdown has caused social media searches for dupes to double from 2022 to 2024. More Gen Z buyers in China are choosing these dupe products, high-quality replicas of brand-name products. These copies are not cheap fakes, but cost much less than the originals. For example, Lululemon leggings retail for 750 yuan on the official Chinese website, but a search on Chinese e-commerce sites reveals alternatives priced as low as 35.2 yuan, claiming the same quality. So what drives young Chinese consumers to choose these affordable alternatives? Experts say many factors are involved, starting with the economic slowdown. China's stagnant economy has led to wage cuts, forcing many to rethink spending habits. A teacher in Chongqing named Xinxin told CNN she was once a fan of Estee Lauder's Advanced Repair Serum. But after a salary cut of over 20% this year, she began looking for cheaper alternatives, saving about $100. In economically turbulent China, official unemployment for ages 18 to 24 reached 18.8% in August. Thousands like Xinxin are turning to replicas to replace high-end goods, trying to maintain their livelihoods. 23-year-old Zheng Jiewin told CNN that with lower wages, she immediately cut spending and could no longer buy brands like Louis Vuitton, Burberry, or Prada as before, opting instead for affordable alternatives. It's also not just the young people giving up luxury brands. People in their 30s and 40s are also tightening their budgets. A 33-year-old self-employed entrepreneur in Guangzhou, Nicole Hai, said she lacks confidence in the national economy. Even with a combined income of at least 4 million yuan this year with her husband, she is cutting expenses significantly. She said, "I have stopped buying luxury goods and expensive skincare, including pricey clothes. I no longer eat out and cook at least 4 days a week." Jessica Wang, 45, told Bloomberg that she has started buying affordable alternatives to Hermes bags. Besides economic factors driving the shrinking luxury market in China, another reason emerged from an internal meeting at French luxury giant LVMH. On March 1st, the Wall Street Journal reported that top executives at Louis Vuitton's headquarters on Avenue Montaigne received a briefing on important issues related to China. Attendees said a former Chinese government economic advisor warned CEO Bernard Arnault about the serious challenges posed by China's aging population. The advisor said that as the population ages, Chinese consumers are likely to save more and spend less on luxury goods. Another expert discussed scenarios that could lead to a Chinese military attack on Taiwan, which would disrupt international trade and trigger a global crisis. China's economy is stagnant and even severely sluggish, leading consumers to tighten spending. But the population issue poses even longer-term and more serious challenges. Declining birth rates, a shrinking and aging population means China's labor force and consumer base will shrink. Although China still has a large labor pool, the rapid pace of urbanization has largely exhausted growth in labor supply. These changes will make sustainable economic growth more difficult for China in the future. Neither economic contraction nor demographic challenges are issues that can be quickly resolved. China's economy is weakening, both internally and externally, and its aging population problem will only worsen. Under these conditions, hopes for a luxury market rebound are unlikely to be realized.